Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
We're a couple dudes like to sit around, drink novelty beverages, and talk a little bit about Alex Jones. Your camera is looking great, even though it got knocked over twice.
All right, Dan.
It looks fantastic.
Dan, you don't need to do off-camera stuff.
I just wanted you to feel confident.
I'm always confident, Dan.
Indeed.
That's not true.
So today, Jordan,
yes,
our novelty beverages is a collection of spiked seltzers. 4 different flavors we got in front of us. We got Cape Cod Cranberry.
I don't even know what a spiked seltzer is.
We got Indian River Grapefruit. That's exciting.
I don't know what that means.
More weird flavors.
Where's Indian River?
I don't know.
And why do they grow grapefruits?
Doesn't matter to me at all. All I care about is fun, sparkling water.
All right, let's see how this
is payback for you making fun of Ice Mountain.
It's garbage.
How dare you? I've had 3 cents that episode. Anyway, this is a podcast where we talk about Alex Jones.
It tastes like water that went bad. Like, I don't even know how water can go bad.
There is an expiration date on most bottled waters. You should know that.
But it's water. You can't even do that.
My God, that's delicious.
Okay, all right.
Is there
yes, I'm flustered.
Sorry.
I'm flustered.
All right.
You come at me with the water thing,
Jordan,
twice.
There's a hook to this podcast.
Is there?
Yeah.
Is there? What is it, Dan?
It's that I know a lot about Alex Jones.
How much do I know about Alex
Almost
Jones?
nothing.
Almost nothing.
Quite a bit at this point, but essentially, functionally nothing.
The good news is my memory is almost non-existent.
Right. It's like Swiss cheese. So
Absolutely.
many holes. So, Jordan, today, before we get into today's episode, which I promise you is going to be an amazing amount of fun.
You know what? It's actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think you did a good job, Dan.
You know what else has done a good job?
No transitions this time.
Our donors. We got a couple new policy wonks to give a shout-out to. I'd like to give a shout-out to Lauren. Thank you so much for joining up with the show.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much, Lauren, and I did love the miseducation of you. That was a great album.
Talking about Hill?
Yes.
Okay. Also like to give a shout-out to someone who took their donation, bumped it up a little bit.
Oh, shit.
We appreciate it so much. So you are now a foreign policy wonk. Thank you so much, Mavis.
I'm a policy wonk.
4 stars. Go home to your mother and tell her you're brilliant.
We appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. I don't know any famous Mavises.
Mavis Beacon teaches typing. How could you not go with that one?
How do you just pull Mavis Beacon teaches typing?
My mom was a computer teacher when I was growing up, so a lot of keys.
Right.
Oregon Trail.
Not all of our moms were computer teachers growing up.
Everyone played Mavis Beacon teaches typing.
I played Oregon Trail. I went number crunching.
Sure.
Word crunching. What was the one where you solved puzzles?
Did you play Sopwith?
I don't know what that
Hard
is.
Hat Mac? Some of these real early Mac games?
Nope.
Let's
didn't have Mac.
Let's not dig too deep into it.
No, that's a bad idea.
So, Jordan, today, Alex Jones is once again on vacation. Up?
Yeah.
Okay. Alex Jones is once again on vacation.
Okay.
And so the health ranger, Mike Adams.
The health ranger.
He's the guy who started...
What is a health ranger?
He's the guy who started naturalnews.com that puts out a bunch of real bad misinformation about health.
Oh, okay.
And what have you. Also, it's where Anthony...
If you eat a bear, you become a bear.
Basically.
Yeah.
And Anthony Gucciardi wrote for them for a really long time and then would use... stuff he had written on naturalnews.com to be a story on InfoWars. It's a very incestuous loop that they have going on.
Okay, what kind of stuff would be on? Like, I assume anti-vaccine stuff is on there.
Yes.
What else do we got?
You got, like, acai berry will cure you of everything. I don't know. I assume it's in league with that.
Gotcha.
And the same sort of homeopathic nonsense that you find everywhere.
I love a website that promotes nothing.
Yeah. Don't.
Hey, eat this sugar pill.
Basically, yeah.
Fantastic.
There's a lot of that, and they sell a lot of items and what have you. So
remember when everybody was into ginkgo biloba for a while?
Boy, they loved it.
Big deal. Don't hear much about the bilobes anymore.
It's the noise has gone down a bit for the biloba. The thing is, like, for a long time, Mike Adams was Alex Jones's number 2. He was the guy who Alex would get to fill in for him anytime he was gone.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so like back in like 2009-ish or around that period, Mike Adams was there all the time.
Okay.
But it's been years since he's filled in for Alex.
So maybe they had a falling out?
No, I don't think so. I think he just didn't need him because he had David Knight in-house.
That can't be the reason.
It seems suspicious.
We don't need you because we have the most boring guy in the history of the world.
Right. They could have had some sort of falling out, but I think it's more an issue of, hey, just...
Brokeback Mountain. Gotcha.
Could be. Anything is possible, but I think the fact that he's coming back into the fold now is kind of telling, and that Alex needs a steady hand.
Yeah.
Someone he can trust, a real man. Because Mike Adams is a much more of a man than your boring-ass David Knight, your soft youngin in the form of Owen Schroyer.
Right.
Milo Yiannopoulos is a dishy gay man. So you need that sort of Alex replacement. And while Mike Adams doesn't necessarily get freaked out and scream all the time, he's more in line with that, what the audience wants to see out of masculinity than a lot of the other people.
All
so
right,
I think
so we're getting a guy coming out of retirement for one last job. So I assume at the end of this, Mike Adams goes down for all of the crimes Alex has committed, right?
If this were a fun movie, yes.
Yeah, there we go.
Also, I've been listening to episodes from 2008, and I've noticed that sometimes Alex Jones comes back from break with the Pink Panther theme song.
All right.
And I'm starting to think, you are Clouseau. Except Clouseau is
occasionally right.
And he gets the job done at the end.
That's true.
I don't know. Anyway, it just... Fun thoughts. I have a lot more thoughts about 2008 that we'll get into in the future. I've embarked on a massive investigation of the beginning of the Tea Party movement through the prism of Alex Jones's show.
Okay.
Which will be my next Why Did Alex Join
That's
going to
be our 2015, but the new one.
I'm finding some really weird stuff.
The sequel to 2015 investigation. Gotcha.
What happened with the Tea Party?
What happened with the... is our new series.
Did Alex really start the Tea Party? Answer, spoiler alert, no, he didn't. It was the Koch brothers.
Wait, did he claim to have? Of course he did. Why am I even asking? Of course he did.
He has some highfalutin ideas, for sure. So,
he's Confederate royalty.
So we got that to look forward to. We got the 2008 investigation stuff that will be coming down the pipe soon. Also, the Noam Chomsky interview will be coming up soon.
Excited.
But those things are not for today.
Not for today.
No.
What is for today?
I wanted to give everyone a break from
Alex. No. Don't shake your head at me like that. I got excited.
Don't get your hopes up.
All right.
But Project Camelot's been really disappointing lately. So there was nothing I could do. All the episodes are there's nothing to work with here.
Right.
So Project Camelot is out. And so what I was like, okay, you know what else? Alex Jones has frequently been a guest on Coast to Coast AM. Maybe I go find an episode of Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie to talk about. And I found,
so long story short, you went to San Francisco and interviewed Mark Richards on your own.
I did. I went to the prison.
Okay. All right.
No, I was listening to these episodes of Coast to Coast, and Alex is really boring because he respects George Norrie so much. So it's mostly just him saying,
I don't understand those words you just said.
He keeps telling George Norrie that he's the Sam Adams of the Second American Revolution and shit like that. He doesn't.
That's a weird thing to call somebody.
He doesn't scream at all. And the most salacious thing I was able to find was that he just basically lies to George Norrie's face about...
I fucked your wife.
No, not that. But he lies to him about Sandy Hook. Because George Norrie's like, you need to clean up the record about your position on Sandy Hook.
Right.
And I was like, we just had debates.
Yeah.
So
he gave the company line.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was just disappointing because I don't want to just rehash that.
Of course.
So I'm like, fuck, we got to find something good. And then I remembered that the 2016 election happened. I was like...
Yes, it did.
I was like, there's a lot of content just from that election that we could dig into that would make for a great episode. And so I was like, I know the audience really wants me to do an episode about election night.
This is the night.
No, good God, no.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I remember you watching that entire night, and that inspired you to make this podcast because you were so disgusted with humanity.
Right. And I'm not ready to reopen that can of worms.
Right. No, it's absolutely unhealthy for you.
We need this to be a point, the show to be at a point where, we're making millions off it before I open that back up. Because quite frankly, it was incredibly painful.
Either that or we need to go to couples therapy to survive you opening that up together.
Yeah. But then I started to think about it, and I remembered a really fun thing that happened on the way to the election, and that is what we will be covering today.
Okay.
And that is the time that Julian Assange held a 3 a.m. press conference, and Alex Jones covered it live.
Okay.
So to give you a little bit of context... Julian Assange held a press conference at 3 in the morning,
All right, that was. I understood that.
and Alex Jones covered it live.
Dan, you are the most clarifying human being I've ever met.
This is going to be. Do you know anything about this?
About the press conference? No.
Do you know anything about Alex's response to the press conference?
Absolutely not.
Oh my God, you're going to have so much fun.
Okay.
Here's the first clip just to set the scene.
It's 2:04 Central. We're live in studio. Stay with us. Coverage of WikiLeaks from Germany in 55 minutes, but we're about to be live.
So we got it. It's 2-something in the morning.
Wait.
Alex Jones is live in studio.
Wait. I thought he was live.
What are you talking about?
I mean, he said we're about to be live. Was this pre-recorded?
No,
and then they're going to be live, or is he live now and he's talking about the
He's
press
live
conference?
and he's saying we will be live then also. He's throwing it to break and he's just we're going to be live.
Wait, so he started his coverage an hour early?
Mm-hmm.
That's too early.
He started it very early.
Did he have a countdown?
No.
I feel like you could have started that just a half hour early. What could he possibly have to say for an hour before Julian Assange comes on?
Alex didn't know what was happening is the thing.
Okay.
And also, I
He
think
just wandered in?
as I have started playing these clips, I remember that I have mentioned this.
Okay.
And I think I played a couple clips from the end, but not the journey.
Okay.
And so while this might be reminiscent to some listeners of something we've talked about before because they have a much better memory than you,
Yeah, don't worry about it. I remembered none of that.
the ride of Alex Jones at 3 in the morning is going to be very much worth it.
Okay.
So he was live. He's going to be live. He will always be live. That's
I think I remember this press conference. It was the one where Julian Assange did not say anything of any value.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
What
So this is when we just take the ride of Alex Jones being so very excited to just dying on the inside over time. Mm-hmm. Did I give up the game?
A little bit, but it's
Okay.
still going to be fun to watch.
Okay.
So Alex believes it to be the day that Hillary Clinton is destroyed.
Okay.
Julian Assange is just giving a 10th anniversary press conference for WikiLeaks. That's
right. That's what he was doing.
that is
Fantastic.
what's going on.
Okay.
Alex Jones has built it up in his head that it's going to be the day that he releases all of the information about Hillary.
Of course.
And the reason is revealed in this next clip.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Alex Jones.
Yeah, you are.
We've got Owen Schroyer right here, one of our great crew members, riding shotgun with me.
Hi, Alex.
It is 2 o'clock and 8 minutes a.m. Central Time. It's 3:08 Eastern Time.
What about Greenwich?
And we're going to be live here until the WikiLeaks
What about
big
Mountain?
press conference has come and gone. Now, through intermediaries, Julian Assange has obviously been in direct contact with Roger Stone. That's no secret. And they have been exchanging communiques over the last weekend.
Soon to be jailed, Roger
Also,
Stone.
another source that, for whatever reason, Julian Assange has talked to, and he's never chosen to speak with me.
You're safe,
and
Alex.
basically relayed the same information. Assange has always been very judicious about how he releases things
Not
to
true.
protect the innocent.
Definitely not.
In the last 10 years, I've had a lot of questions about WikiLeaks, but I've been sold on WikiLeaks the last 5 or so because
Doubtful.
I said the big litmus test is when Democrats get in and they do the very same stuff Bush does, will he go after them as well? And he did.
Will they hurt the people I want them to hurt?
Right.
That's basically the
Yep.
game. But hey, that's troubling because he said that Roger Stone.
Yeah,
is,
essentially he just said Roger Stone's been committing crimes for a long time now, and so we know for sure that he's a crime committer.
right now when he's trying to build this up as like this is going to be the goods. He has to bolster Roger Stone's credibility, and
Yeah.
he knows he's talked to him.
Yeah.
But now he's like, "How dare you ever say that Roger Stone talked to WikiLeaks? You stupid assholes!"
Yeah, and he can't do both because if he just admitted that he was lying about it, then we'd be in trouble. Also, we know he's not lying about it because didn't Roger Stone say it at the time?
More or less,
Yeah.
in as many words.
Right.
And you know what? The truth is that like I don't necessarily know what is what. But if I had to guess, I would say 100% Roger told him that.
Yeah.
Whether or not he was like trying to make himself seem cooler
Uh-huh.
or whatever the reality is, Roger told him, I've spoken to Julian Assange.
You know, the more I learn about Roger Stone, as evil as he is such chaotic evil that there's he's kind of like Loki in that he's doing all the wrong stuff, but at the same time, it's just like you're a scamp.
No, because
you're an evil fucking scamp.
Roger Stone can't help but rat fuck people.
I know, it's kind of hilarious.
And he's rat fucking Alex. Like, the way this episode is going to play out, this is a Roger Stone screw job. Because he's the one who told Alex that he has the goods, and this is going to be when Assange drops it.
Oh God,
it's
so good.
It's insane. This is a dirty trick on Alex accidentally. So in this next clip, Alex is it's a late night broadcast, but you still got to get some plugs in here and there.
Of course.
Still got to make some money at 2 a.m.
Well, what else are you going to do for an hour before Assange?
Yeah.
Your support of Infowars.com and everything we do is so essential. We couldn't do it without you. And you notice we're a big part of Bill Clinton's son now coming public, and all of
Where
that
is left
unfolding because Hillary suppressed that when Bill was actually giving money to the boy and was actually giving him presents.
Citation
Hillary actually
needed.
came and visited with the mother and said, we'll have you arrested if you don't leave this whole thing alone. So all of that is coming out here at Infowars.com.
Good for you for reporting that load of horse shit.
Huge scoop, if true.
Do you know about this story? So there's...
Wait. Is this the Bill Clinton has an illegitimate black child?
Danny Williams.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to read to you here from this Washington Post article about why this is a load of shit. So on January 9th, 1999, Matt Drudge had another big scoop about Bill Clinton. The president, it turned out, was not the father of a boy born to a former prostitute in Arkansas.
Okay.
A year earlier, it had been Drudge who broke the story of Clinton's affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Drudge's credibility was at an all-time high, and he wasn't about to throw it away on some wild claim about a love child that had just been debunked through DNA testing.
Yes.
17 years later, as his news aggregation site relentlessly promotes the political ambitions of Donald Trump and fuels conspiracy theories about Hillary Clinton, Drudge has decided to propagate the idea that perhaps this boy, now a 30-year-old man named Danny Williams, is Bill Clinton's son after all. In the past 2 weeks, articles about Williams have often featured prominently on the Drudge Report. Last Wednesday afternoon, the website went quasi-Droste effect, posting a picture of Williams standing next to a screen displaying an image of himself that had appeared in another Drudge Report banner earlier in the day. So, you know what's going on here.
That's so weird. Imagine what...
So hold on. We need the explanation before we editorialize.
Okay.
Drudge has sought to explain his newfound interest in Williams, who claims with certainty that he is Clinton's son, by suggesting that new information has come to light. This is a grotesque twisting of history. It's based on a report from WorldNet Daily that, quote, no blood sample was obtained from Clinton. This supposedly shocking revelation comes from the former editor of Star magazine, Phil Bunton, who said in 1999 that his tabloid had commissioned a DNA test and concluded that Williams is not Clinton's son. Drudge learned of the negative result and published the news before Star or anyone else. But if Bunton now admits that he never got a blood sample from Clinton, there must never have been a real test, Drudge is saying, which means Williams could be legit. In reality, the tabloid never claimed to have obtained a blood sample from Clinton. It didn't need one, because a partial analysis of Clinton's blood was available in the public record thanks to Kenneth Starr's investigation into the Lewinsky affair.
Right.
So, it is neither new nor relevant that Star magazine did not possess a vial of Clinton's blood. The tabloid needed only a sample of Williams' blood, which Williams provided, to compare Clinton's readily available genetic markers. So.
All right, so from what I understand, because Clinton came on a dress.
Yes.
And then lied about it, and then it was discovered it was true.
Yeah.
That then invalidates the other conspiracy theory.
Well,
or the original conspiracy.
Somewhat, because the DNA ended up having to be on the public record because of the investigation.
Right.
So after that became clear that, like, oh no, the blood test thing is bullshit, the story changed. And the claim became that they only had Clinton's PCR test from the Starr investigation, not the more specific RFLP test.
Oh, you got to have the RFLP test.
Which is what they needed. However, so they're really taking things out of context. And it turns out that you can use a PCR test, which is what you could do with Clinton's public record genetics, to exclude him as a potential father, which is what they did.
But not prove that he's the potential father, or that he is the father, but you can exclude him from the potential pool of people who could be the father.
Bingo.
Okay.
So Drudge knew what he was doing, and a lot of that, the hatchet aspect of this goes back to Roger Stone. Roger Stone was involved with trying to get all this stuff put out.
Of course.
So it all...
Again, weird trickster god rambling around this world, sowing discord and hatred wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Like a weird Johnny Apple fuckface.
In terms of propaganda, especially anti-Clinton stuff, Roger Stone is Rome.
Yeah.
All roads lead back to
yeah.
Roger. He's got his hand in every one of these little pies.
You know what's interesting?
Nuts.
The more I think about it, the more it's kind of like, if you are anybody in Arkansas that was born around a certain time, and you were just like, I think I'm Clinton's biological kid, right-wing news would almost certainly pick it up and amplify it.
Oh, sure. And
like, it could be anybody.
And I think that same effect is probably true now of claims against Trump. Unfortunately,
yeah, but he probably is.
But unfortunately, there are a lot of I don't think any of the claims that are being made publicly are spurious.
No, I think everybody's pretty much dead on.
But I also do believe that if someone came out of the woodwork who was full of shit, people would jump on it.
Right, I think people
you know what? I think
would, but that's the difference between real media and right-wing media.
Exactly, and that's what I was about to clarify.
Yeah.
I don't think the news would jump on it,
right.
But some opportunistic left-leaning blogs probably would.
Maybe.
So I guess that's the differentiation. I don't know. We're talking about, like, hypothetical nonsense.
Yeah.
So
anyways, I'm Trump's kid.
So at the beginning...
That's a true thing. You heard it here first.
All right.
I am Jordan B. Trump.
Jordan B. Trumpin'.
That's me.
So in this next clip, Alex makes it clear that, hey, you know what? This press conference is going to fucking happen. And after it happens, the media, the mainstream media, they're going to lie about what happens.
Okay.
Now, mainstream media, they all just lockstep get together with their propaganda. They come out and spew their disinformation all loaded on teleprompters. And so they'll all just unify themselves the next 4 or 5 hours and come out with some establishment line, either ignoring WikiLeaks or spinning it. But we're going to be here live. Now, WikiLeaks, and I get why, they put out some conflicting information. First, they were going to be speaking from a balcony Wednesday. Then there were more death threats towards the Paraguayan embassy where Assange has been hiding out for 4 or 5 years.
Ecuadorian, by the way.
He announced that he was going to be doing a Skype announcement, and then announced about 24 hours ago that it would be in Germany to a press conference at a arts and news center. So that's what's going to be happening, and they put out conflicting numbers of 3 o'clock Central or
I think
perhaps
Alex
2 o'clock Central that the press conference would start. Now it's clear it starts in approximately 47 minutes and change.
So he's got 47 minutes left before Julian Assange's press conference starts. And then there's another bit of time before Julian Assange himself makes his statement.
This is bad planning on Alex's part.
He's
clearly tired.
Yeah, he is.
And he's getting nasal. He's not able to keep up the voice.
I don't think he's drunk.
No. He's definitely not drunk.
I know we throw that around a lot. I think he's straight up...
Guaranteed this is just him being like, I tried to get a nap in between the early show and now, and I didn't get as much sleep as I would like, so I'm a little bit off.
Yeah.
I don't know what time zone I'm in right now.
I think that there's definitely a difference that you can tell, and I think it's important to call it out.
Absolutely.
Because if he were drunk, I think this would have a very different feel to it. I think he wouldn't make it.
And I think he would get very drunk as we go along.
And I allow that as a possibility.
Okay.
I allow it as a possibility that once the worm turns, he has a flask or something
Currently,
like that.
I can guarantee this is not drunk Alex Jones.
No. It's very tired, but also pretty excited, as we see in this next clip.
First, I want to go to Owen on this subject, and then what you think is going to be coming out tonight, what you predict. It better be bombshell, because they've certainly whet our appetite here, and with 34 days left, we need to expose Hillary big time. And I've got my fingers crossed. Wild horses couldn't drag me away. You can cut the knife, and then we're going to get into this Brit Hume situation, not because they're attacking yours truly, but because it's illustrative of how rigged this whole thing is.
So just real quick, at this point, Owen Schroyer's mic is turned off.
I was going to say, it's awful quiet right now.
Owen Schroyer is talking, and you can just see his lips moving, but there's no audio. So I was looking at the video like, Anyway.
Are we going to be silent?
We're going to turn your mic on in a moment. Again, we're live here. This stuff happens.
Sure does.
This stuff happens.
So
we're not gonna criticize anybody else's technical difficulties.
I left that in for a specific reason. Hold on to it for the end of the show.
Okay.
So Alex is pretty.
So there's a big. We're gonna go full circle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex is pretty pumped up. And he's making a big deal out of this. We got 34 days left till the election because that's when this happens. It was on October 4th.
I remember when we were all so bright and young, beautiful,
so innocent.
When our only problem was, most of the same problems we have now, but just like lesser versions.
Also, this is really funny. This video is still up on Alex Jones's channel, and here's the about in the YouTube link. Join Alex Jones and the InfoWars crew at 2 a.m. Central on Tuesday, October 4th for a live broadcast as Wikileaks releases its October surprise that could swing the election against Hillary if it catches fire. So that's how they're selling it. And the graphic that they have for it is just a picture of Julian Assange, and it says Wikileaks October surprise.
Oh, boy.
So Alex is all in because Roger told him to be.
Yeah.
Roger told him, don't worry about it. This is the big time.
This is the game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what Owen thinks is going to happen. Owen finally gets his mic turned on, and here's what he thinks.
Go ahead, you're on air.
It'll be interesting to see what the response is, because with a lot of these WikiLeaks, it's nothing that really shocks us. It's nothing that you couldn't have already seen or predicted. So the question is, and this is what Assange said in the interviews that he did, will the Republic respond to this? Will people actually care? Will it dominate the news headlines? Or will they try to spin something off tomorrow? Will there be, a white cop that shoots a black guy so they want to run that story all day long? Will there be a distraction piece on this tomorrow? Let's see what the reaction is from the American citizens and from the world. I mean, the world is watching this. You just talked about how they whet our appetite, Alex. Everybody's tuning into this. Everybody wants to see what the big leak is. They're expecting that, Assange saying this is bombshell is going to be significant.
So in the lead up to this, Assange was talking a big game about how, Hillary was going to get...
That's all he does.
Right. He was talking about how Hillary was going to be indicted, and he had a lot of information on her and all that stuff. But he never said that this press conference was going to be when he released it. That it was never part of his rhetoric. This is them conflating things.
Right.
They don't understand...
Well, clearly
we've already ruined the reveal that this is a disappointment.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like terrible, dancing around that. But it's fascinating to me how little they understand about the things that they see and read.
Right, but Assange himself almost, if I recall correctly, he wasn't exactly disabusing people of the notion that it might be the time that he releases all that information.
I don't know. I don't know all the things he said.
He's a narcissistic, grandstanding piece of shit. He's still that.
Yes, absolutely. But as I recall, I'm not 100% sure because I don't follow everything the man says. But I think that a lot of the stuff he was saying when people were floating these sorts of ideas that this is when it's going to happen, were along the lines of we don't talk about content that we release until it's released.
Yeah.
Or things basically the same flavor as none shall know the day of the Lord's return.
Yes.
That sort of thing. He comes like a thief in the night.
Which, by the way, next Wednesday. In case anybody was wondering, I got some information. Pre-trib rapture is actually true.
I know you're just joking, but what if that happened? That would be crazy.
Jesus came back and he was like, God damn it, Jordan, you fucking ruined it for everybody.
And you ruined your camera.
And I ruined my goddamn camera.
Hit things.
I'm sorry.
It would be great if all of God's plans were thwarted by
the prophecy child.
Alex Jones podcast.
Yeah.
So in this next clip, we know Alex Jones is super big into Donald Trump, but he says something in this next clip that should, if you really take what he's saying, it sounds like a negative.
It's a fact. That's why they're so mad, saying he'll unravel 60 years of work thank God, building this horrible world government that's designed to make us poor. That's why it's a no-brainer. He flips a couple switches, people, that are constitutional. It'll be like untying a boat from a dock where the engine's going, but you're not pulling out because you're tied up to chains. He's going to unchain us. Now, he may run the boat into a wall or, into the dock, but he's going to get the boat out of the dock.
That's not.
Wait, that's
not
the opposite
goal.
of what he just said.
And that's not the goal.
What, getting out of the dock?
It's not so important that we get out of the dock that we're like, ship crashed, who cares?
I mean, we're out of the dock.
If you extend that metaphor, you're into real dangerous territory once you're out, like...
No, that's how it works with the Panama Canal, right?
There's a 20% chance he's going to destroy the country. We got to roll them bones. I say we don't.
Let it ride.
I say we don't. And also, I would argue that the metaphor of the country being a boat that's tied up at a dock is foolish. It's not tied up at a dock. It's just not.
No, it's actually currently hurtling towards the wall.
But even before Trump, it was moving. It just wasn't moving as fast as you wanted it to move.
No, Alex is right in that the government that we have now, or then, was designed to make us all poor. He just doesn't understand that the government we have currently is going to make us way poorer.
It's designed to make everything collapse except for the interests of the very, very few.
Which will, of course, collapse eventually, but they'll have castles, so...
It's like going... who cares? I don't want to extend this metaphor any further.
Okay.
In this next clip...
It's like you're on a schooner.
Right.
Having a race. The Harvard... what are those called? Like the boat races? Galas?
Nope.
No?
I don't know.
Boat races?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, there we go.
So we've gotten through the raspberry, or cranberry... And I gotta say, cranberry, the Cape Cod cranberry, is a winner. Also, I'm going to put this up on the screen. Look at this here at the bottom. It just says beer. It just says beer on the bottom of the can. And this is
delicious.
Not beer.
It's delicious, and I could drink 300 of these.
What are you going to go next? Grapefruit? You want to go grapefruit next?
Always go green after red.
Okay, we go lime.
Yep.
Go lime. Where's this lime from? Oh, it's from the West Indies.
West Indies lime.
All right, here we go with this next clip. So Alex Jones is really pumped for whatever is going to come from the Assange revelation.
Okay.
But what about the rest of the staff?
That's a good question.
What about the
Schroyer was oddly skeptical.
No, he's not. He's in. He
was just saying, he's like, it better be a big deal, and a lot of times WikiLeaks can just be,
He thinks it's going to be big. He's suggesting that the fucking globalists are going to false flag shoot a black guy with a white cop to cover up the story.
Yeah, but I mean,
because that's what he's implying in that last clip.
Right.
Anyway, here we find out about more of the staff.
And the thing that worries me though is
this is Darren McBreen.
Is just how obviously
Literally
the media is going to respond to this, try to dilute it as much as they can. But I just worry about a lot of the Hillary supporters that are already out there because I mean she gets away with everything. Is this going to be worse than Benghazi? I mean, is this going to be worse than her deleted emails? Will this be worse than how she badgers women and goes after the women that were abused by her husband? I mean, how bad can it get? So I'm really excited to see what's they're about to announce.
Well, let me make some predictions. I think it's going to be more emails confirming that, because we already have one with one of her top people saying, hey, we need illegal means. And then the reported new email that we haven't confirmed yet saying use a drone. I mean, I think it's going to be confirmed that she's been plotting to kill Assange. I think also, because we already know some of the intel, it's going to be directly
from Roger
proving in Benghazi that she ordered in emails the shipments of weapons out of
and
Syria.
Also the code red.
Or out of Libya into Syria. And I think it's going to be Hillary directing the media word for word what to say. I'm going to go back to McBreen in a moment, because I don't want him to leave.
Stay, McBreen.
It's going to be the media
I need you
being directed on what to say and what to do, right down to talking points. It's going to be David Brock type stuff, directing Lester Holt type stuff, directing Megyn Kelly. It's going to be the actual directions. Also, it's going to be other arms shipments into other areas of the Middle East. It's going to be...
Why not?
The EU officials with NATO and the UN being directed by the State Department to prepare the collapse.
Really putting a lot into this one press conference.
From Macedonia to Turkey, and to bring
How long
in
is this press
the
conference supposed to be?
Keep in mind, Alex said, "This is my prediction."
Yeah, no, all of this stuff is going to happen.
I think it's going to be everything that verifies all of my narratives.
Yep.
That's that.
Every lie I've told is going to turn out to be true.
I mean, it's tough to get away from how like invested that sounds. You know, like that's a very unhealthy level of here's what I think it's going to be.
Yeah, but what I think he's really doing is putting all of his narratives in there.
Just
that
in
way,
case.
if he proves any of them,
Right.
he gets to be like, well, we didn't see this stuff proved, but I still got one right.
And the rest of it's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He
It's-
needs to get
it's
one
buckshot.
right.
It's
Yeah,
buckshot.
exactly.
Instead, no sniper, no sniper activity. Just a shotgun full of rock salt coming after the globalists.
Absolutely.
Just. So in this next clip, we get some more predictions.
I believe this is going to be half of what he's got, and that he'll announce even more is coming out before the election. Just watching how Assange does things. McBreen, what do you think?
Well, he's pretty much stated that as well. He said he's got a treasure trove of information that he's going to release bits at a time. But that's a lot in the next 30 days. You know, so we're going to probably see once a week something like this. But I think the big one's tonight.
Let me ask you this, both of you. I mean, are you edge of your seat or what? I was so hyped today and had so much energy, I could hardly finish my words. I was stumbling over my next word.
Can't even
Something
finish
I've
his
never really
words.
done. Sometimes I get excited and talk fast, but this is just an incredible time. And I don't want to say it's a guilt, it's responsibility, where I jumped out of bed at 1 a.m. after sleeping 3 hours.
Yeah, you sound like
I
it.
just feel so good, not even proud of myself, but just my cells.
What?
I guess my soul is like, yes, work more, work 20 hours a day. Do everything. I've never felt so good working this hard. I mean, this is history.
This is history. He is so pumped. They are like,
This is the vindication moment because they've never been right about anything before.
Exactly.
So if they get one thing right, they're going to lose their shit.
exactly. And Roger has clearly told them.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be the big deal.
Your boat is coming in.
Oh,
You
and
know-
it's going to break that fucking wall.
You know what it is? It's like a kid on Christmas who thinks that they're getting like a PlayStation, and it's really
Yeah, they see the big box and they're like,
Exactly.
oh, this is the big box. This is going to be the one.
and they're so sure of it, and then they get disappointed on Christmas morning. But the reason they get
Because their
disappointed,
parents put a tiny pair of socks in there
Right.
just to fuck with their kid.
and the reason that they're disappointed is because their older brother, Roger Stone, in this metaphor, has told them it's finally time that you're getting a PlayStation. You know, that sort of thing.
Even though he's probably already seen inside the box.
Exactly.
He was there wrapping it with his parents and going to be like, this is going to be hilarious. We're
Yeah.
going to fuck with him so bad. This is going to be so great.
Exactly. So in this next clip, Alex explains that he's the real media. You know why? Because he's stayed up late.
That's
We're
all
the
you
true
gotta do.
independent media. We're up in the middle of the night while Fox tapes its shows and CNN tapes its shows at like 10 at night that air overnight. We're here giving you real live coverage. And again, I wouldn't care if they were telling the truth at CNN or Fox.
Cool. You're the real media, bro. In this next clip, just to move along, I have a ton of clips.
Also, West Indies Lime, it's a winner.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So
it's
good.
great. Yeah.
So good.
I was going to bring that up
Oh,
myself.
so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It's just smooth. We got to get Spiked Seltzers as a
Guys,
sponsor.
Spiked Seltzers is the way to go.
If you guys want to reach out to Spiked Seltzers and tell them to sponsor our podcast, we would appreciate it.
Yes.
I don't even know if that's the name of the company.
This is essentially us finding out at 30 that Zima is great.
You know what? I never disagreed with that. Even when I was a younger man, I didn't have one of those sort of I didn't like a Smirnoff Ice necessarily because there's too much sweetness to
Right.
it,
Right.
what have you. But anyway, let's not go
No,
down.
this is like if the shitty water you bought earlier was actually delicious.
Let's not go down the road of my history with wine coolers because it's going to be a long podcast if we do. Instead, I would like to submit to you this next clip that just confirms that Alex Jones is fully saying that this is their October surprise.
You're watching live coverage at 2:52 a.m. Central Standard Time, 3:52 Eastern, of the WikiLeaks Clinton October surprise that kicks off in about 7 minutes.
It's the October surprise, baby.
It's going to happen.
So it kicks off in 7 minutes.
Wait, isn't this almost very similar to the time period where where Trump Jr. was texting or was on Twitter with those people illegally?
Boy, I wish I'd figured out the timeline before we did this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Because didn't he say, like, especially this would be great, especially in the fall? Or was it in the summer?
Are you talking about that meeting with Veselnitskaya?
No, the one where he got the direct message about somebody who gave him who was going to give him secret information or whatever.
That's Veselnitskaya.
Was that them?
Yeah, the email from Aras.
Right.
Let me look that up. Vamp. If I'm going to look,
all right. Well,
if I'm going to look something up, you can't text.
I'm not texting. I'm looking up my dates. So I might as well fucking plug them right now.
Fair enough.
Never mind. All right.
You got a plug?
No.
Are you doing a show with Matt Drufke?
I am doing a show. It's actually in my hometown of Princeton, Illinois. It's going to be brutal. My family's going to be there. I'm just going to lay out grievances. That's all it's going to be. I'm going to lock the doors, and I'm just going to be like, listen up. Here's all the shit that my parents did wrong, and I'm saying this publicly. We need to have an intervention. Religion isn't real.
Cool. It was months before. The meeting was in June. It was the Trump Tower meeting was in June.
I gotcha.
And so the emails were before that.
Gotcha.
I'm not entirely sure exactly what was going on, but, like, clandestinely at this point in October.
Right.
That's what we got there. So Alex says we got 7 minutes till it starts.
Yes.
And when it starts, there are a bunch of people, there's like some journalists who are giving a bit of a lecture about the history of WikiLeaks.
Right.
Because it's the 10th anniversary of WikiLeaks. That's all this is.
Yeah.
And so they're giving giving...
Chelsea Manning is a hero. This is very important. Pretty much everything since then has been bullshit.
You know what? I don't have a clip of this, but this is actually the only time that Alex Jones didn't misgender her.
Really?
He actually called her Chelsea on this episode and always calls her a man or Bradley Manning.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird. Actually,
that is weird.
Actually, he has adopted the naming convention. He does say Chelsea, generally speaking, now, but also misgenders her.
Okay.
But in this case... totally cool with it. It brings up how Assange had been like, I will go to prison if you release her.
Yes.
And Alex even uses the her pronoun.
Wow.
It's very weird, but I think it's a secondary.
This is great.
I think he's distracted.
Yeah, of course.
So
he's distracted enough so that he finally isn't a transphobic monster for a short period of time.
Well, that takes attention to detail.
It does.
So
it's hard to be a transphobic monster.
Exactly.
We don't think about that enough. How difficult it is to be prejudiced against everybody who is different from you.
In the same way that Alex is complaining about how, like, why do I have to keep up with these new terms?
Right.
Everybody introduces new terms.
And it turns out it's not hard to do.
It's not that hard, but I can understand how it would be tough for a bigot to be like, why do I have to keep finding new targets for my hate?
Yeah.
Why do I have to keep finding new rationalizations for hating people who are different?
Of course.
Why are there so many ways people can be different? That's got to be exhausting.
Yeah, it does.
So the press conference starts with these people giving a history of WikiLeaks.
Yes.
Alex, I don't think knew that was going to happen, and so he just lets it...
He thought it was going to be full-on. Julian comes out and is like, bombshell, fuck yeah,
Dick
this
out.
shit. Yeah.
Just swinging.
Yeah.
Instead, it's this, 10 years ago we started this website and blah, blah, and he doesn't really know how to deal with it, so he just plays it straight. And, I, of course, haven't kept any of that in.
Of course.
But here's an interesting editorial that Alex drops in before things turn for him.
I've got to say, Assange and his crew are definitely patriots. They're real liberals. You're seeing real liberals in action here. By liberals, Thomas Jefferson was a liberal. It means more freedom, telling the truth, being honorable. These are real liberals. And that's why you hear Obama and Hillary saying they're totally evil and the worst people in the world must be shut down. It's why you heard Assange saying Hillary wants to put the free press's neck in a noose.
So they're the real liberals. That's cool. Alex is super into it. He is still pumped. They're patriots.
Absolutely.
he's not an American.
Nah, but he's a real patriot.
What does that even mean?
He's a patriot. He's like Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson wasn't a real American. He moved.
Well, true. But you create a new identity, and he gets to adopt it.
Right.
If Julian Assange were a founder of our country, he could claim he could claim that he's an American, but he's actually European.
Right.
This is a guy from, where's he from? Sweden?
Assange?
Where's he from?
No. He committed all of his crimes in Sweden, right?
That's where I got it wrong.
That's the one.
Yeah. Where's he from?
I think he's British.
Okay.
Maybe.
Australian? No.
Could be Australian.
Who knows?
Where is he from? Paraguay. Well, I think we've landed on Paraguay as the reality.
Ooh, big gap in our knowledge. Country of origin for
Who
Assange.
gives a shit? He's a monster.
I got Australia from the chat room.
Oh, okay.
So he's an Australian dude who's committed a crime in Sweden, who's now in the UK in an Ecuadorian embassy. And
Of course he's an Australian. They come from a line of criminals. I don't know why. There's no reason to do that.
My point is that...
So does everybody from Georgia.
My point...
And here.
Don't say that, man. There's a bunch of Australian listeners.
I know. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to do that.
My point is that you have a circuitous... Oh, boy.
Circuitous.
Exactly.
There you go.
Route for him to find himself in the Ecuadorian embassy in the UK. And Alex is like, he's a patriot.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So anyway, in this next clip, we get...
Especially considering that... Never mind.
In this next clip, we get Darren McBreen jumping back in, I believe, and we're talking about how fucking hardcore this data dump is going to be.
Yeah.
And then an accusation is made about the Internet.
Let's go to Darren McBreen. Here we are at 3:30 in the morning covering this. This is history. Again, how hardcore is the data dump he's going to give on Hillary?
Well, I hope it's super hardcore, but you guys were talking earlier about how a lot of times you go to these news websites and you get more information in the comments section. And then, Alex, you said that a lot of times what they'll do is they'll turn off the comment section so nobody can read it.
Yeah, that's the new architecture.
But they're even going a step further. Hillary Clinton, she now has a troll army. So what she will do is they've got all these people that they're spending millions of dollars for these trolls to go to these news websites, to go to Infowars.com, to go to Facebook, and to argue with people and of course they're pro-Hillary, and they basically attack anybody who has anything to do anything against
you guys
her.
Are assholes.
So these are paid trolls, an army of paid trolls.
Owen Schroyer, what's your view on this?
Well, Darren is completely correct. They have to pay these people to go online. You can
Soros.
I don't think. Look, I don't care what side you are on. For the most part, you do not have to pay people to be assholes online.
Right.
Generally speaking, everybody does it for free.
And you know what? Honestly, I think it's if you're on one side of the political divide and you're getting abused a bunch by people in comment sections, I think it's actually a much more comforting idea that they're paid. Because
no, of course.
Because if not, that means
those
that
people
means
you might be a dick,
or they're doing it because they're monsters.
Right. Exactly.
It's actually kind of like when you look at the idea of like just take a picture of humanity. It's like I would much rather these dicks posting all this violent, angry shit. We're getting paid to do it,
right? Otherwise,
at least then
everybody might be an asshole.
Because then, if the money shuts off, that'll stop.
Right. That's a good point. I didn't consider that.
And if the money doesn't, like, they're just doing it because I feel this in my heart. Then, like, oh, boy.
I'm in for the rest of my life.
Yeah, then there's really nothing you can do outside of, I mean, hopefully education, but...
Nah, that's never going to happen.
No, people don't like that.
It's mean.
So what they're specifically talking about is David Brock's Correct the Record initiative, where they had a bunch of people who were going around to find places where misinformation was being spread about Hillary Clinton and post the explanation of it.
Right.
And I get how the idea of, like, they're getting paid to flood comment sections and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get how the reality is very close to the version that Alex is spitting.
Yeah, there are people who were paid to do that. They were Russian.
But the version that they're explaining is conflating probably dumb people with the people who were paid.
Yeah.
There's probably, like, you'll never really be able to prove X, Y, or Z person on the internet was paid.
Yeah.
But if you just say they're all paid, then you can take the behavior of someone who's awful and assume that's the same as a person who's like, well, actually, here's an article about what really happened there, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It's a dumb game. It's dumb.
Facts are never going to win because they are always reactive.
Yeah.
The only possibility is education, and education isn't really going to win because in order to be educated, you have to admit that you don't know things.
It's humbling.
If you admit that you don't know things, that makes you feel stupid. And the people that we are fighting against are essentially people who refuse to admit that they don't know something.
It's a threat. It's a threat to your self-identity.
Yeah. Especially if you're a manly, if you're like so invested in this male identity of always being the strongest, that then has to apply to the intellectual sphere as well.
I would be willing to bet, Alex, I know it's a hacky thing, but I bet he won't ask for directions. I bet he is that.
Right, and why don't they make the plane out of whatever the black box is made out of?
That doesn't have to do with masculinity. But you know what does? This next clip.
Amazing transitions.
Owen Schroyer decides, I'm going to be fucking manly as hell, and he does
Owen Schroyer shouldn't do that. He is not manly.
He does a pro wrestling style shoot.
All right.
On David Brock.
All right, I like it.
Here, you know what's amazing? That's something I don't think it's said.
And by the way, let's put the WikiLeaks press conference kind of lower corner if we can, so folks know what's going on.
They're bored.
We're covering that, but go ahead.
So, Fox News calls you out. MSNBC calls you out. CNN, whoever calls you out, and you respond. Hillary Clinton calls you out, says you have a dark heart. You respond with
and they never covered it.
Okay? I called you a money laundering thief, David Brock.
Yeah, notice he won't respond.
Where are you?
Because he doesn't want to go there.
If somebody said something that damning about myself, about my personal record, I think that I would want to respond.
How about you're a lying, inaccurate piece of shit?
Right, and we actually, I can't wait to...
I'm calling you out, Owen Schroyer. If you want somebody to fucking come at you like it's no big deal, let me tell you something. You work for a lying piece of shit, and that makes you a lying piece of shit. You think you're a bigot? Even fucking you don't even know.
You're also bad at your job.
Yeah, he's really bad at his job.
But I would posit this as a potential explanation. Alex has something to gain from engaging, and that is increased exposure, and then he sells more of his dumb products.
Right. And David Brock
doesn't have anything to gain by engaging.
In fact, the only person who has anything to gain by David Brock engaging is Alex Jones.
Exactly.
That's it.
And so this whole thing of, like, why won't you come at us?
Right.
Is so desperate when you really look at it through, like, the lens of the real world.
Right.
It's like, of course I don't want to dignify you with a fucking... You're just trying to... It's schoolyard shit.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bullying.
No,
it's bullying.
Currently, it does seem like we're in something of the opposite position insofar as we only have something to gain if Alex comes after us.
Totally.
He will then...
Never. He would
of
never.
course not.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
So, Alex, what I'm saying is you're a giant pussy.
Right.
Yeah.
And your whole worldview is based on anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
The issue, too, what it comes down to often is that, like, I don't know if David Brock is involved in money laundering.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea. But Owen Schroyer making that claim, in order for it to be liable, like, proving it in court is difficult. In the same way that, like, there's the way that our laws are written in terms of, like, slander and libel it's very difficult to prove the legal standard of those things to protect free speech.
Right. You would rather err on the side of...
Right.
Yeah.
And they kind of know that. So they're...
Well, they have to because that's their whole game.
Basically.
Literally, all they do is skirt as close to a libel law as they possibly can.
And then fucking settle.
And try and fall back.
And settle like crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this promo's not over.
Here you go.
No, he won't respond to any of the reports you were covering.
So, David Brock, I'm accusing you of money laundering. I think that you are an absolute thief. You are the Jordan Belfort of the Democratic campaign donation funding. You and Mary Bonner need to be audited and looked into by the IRS and probably put in jail. Okay? Let's hear you respond to that. I bet your dark heart has nothing
But look
to say.
how he's a total moron. He looks like he looks like a lobotomized dog.
Gotta go for
with
the
that
looks.
Fake fop hair.
Oh,
Like
he's gotta go for
He's got a nice
that,
wave.
It looks like a dog in the headlights. I mean, look at that joke.
I do.
We don't have any proof that he's a money launderer, so he looks like a money launderer. Done.
On some level, I admire that Owen Schroyer was at least saying a thing. You know?
He was trying. Yeah.
I don't know if that thing is real or true, but at least it wasn't, look at that dumbass hair.
Yeah.
And Alex can't hang. I mean, I don't know if it's just because it's that late and he's tired.
Uh-huh.
But he would do that at noon.
Yeah, I was going to say, no, it's not that. It's that Alex is afraid of making that kind of a concrete claim.
Yeah.
Alex would much rather just go for the emasculate as opposed to anything else, because he knows his viewers aren't really going to care. Mm-hmm. Like David Brock, you can say David Brock is a money launderer, and they'll be like, yeah, he totally is.
Yeah.
But what's going to get them excited is saying that he looks like a lobotomized or whatever it is.
What's really going to get him excited is the next clip.
Okay.
But before we get there, just while we're on the topic of money laundering.
Oh, do you mean our president?
No. FortifiedSupply.com.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Tax deadlines, April 15th.
April 15th.
Are fast approaching.
Oh, yeah.
Alex, I don't want to. I don't know for sure. I don't know all the intricacies of the law, but I think he might be doing some money laundering. I don't think that's libel.
Oh man.
Anyway, in this next clip, like I said,
this is going to get their dicks hard.
Oh yeah, not just like making fun of his hair.
No,
that's not enough.
Has that stupid gray hair like a Mars attack space alien head? What the?
Yeah, color your hair.
He doesn't care about anything else except money. All right, that's all this guy cares about.
And he loves Vienna sausage.
Well, actually, okay.
No, I mean,
hey, his ex-boyfriend actually blackmailed him, and
no. He's a connoisseur of Vienna sausage. I mean, he actually likes little canned meats.
Okay, well, like, are you talking about mini weenies, or does he like?
Yes, mini weenies.
He likes the mini weenies.
David Brock likes mini weenies.
When David Brock has one of his super PACs.
When he has thought bubbles, it's about Vienna sausage.
When he has his super PACs hosting these parties, actually he serves miniature wieners at his party. But hey, he got blackmailed by his ex-boyfriend. He had to pay his ex-boyfriend
I didn't mean that. I mean he's a connoisseur of breakfast sausages. Sorry,
Does Alex think he's funny?
Yes.
Alex has to think he's really funny.
He thinks he's hilarious.
He has to think he is fucking crushing
He
this
has
joke.
sycophantic assholes around. Like,
yeah, that's true.
You know, they just like, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah. That's great. I bet he does like breakfast foods. I'm trying to insinuate that he's super gay, though.
Right.
I'm trying to insinuate that Vienna sausage, that you said was actually a euphemism.
What's fun about that bit as a two-man act is that, like, Owen is doing exactly what he should do.
Right, he's playing the straight man.
Well, because Alex is bringing up the mini weenies and what have you to make fun of the idea that David Brock is gay.
Right.
And Owen is like, well, actually, now bringing up, like, substance.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not is another matter. But he's like, oh, yeah, not only that, but he had to pay his boyfriend all this money. No, I'm literally talking about cocktail weenies. It's like, Alex, you are the worst. You have already done the bit. Now you're trying to do it again, and Owen doesn't have the improv chops to roll with it.
Right, of course not.
He can't, like, you can see it in his face, too. There, he's just exasperated. He's like, all right, yes, I mean.
It's not a good joke, but I can't say it on air.
Well, the thing, too, is that, like, I don't know exactly what the money they're talking about is. I don't really care. This is just part of their Pizzagate coverage, because David Brock's ex-boyfriend was James Alefantis, who owned Comet Ping Pong Pizza, which was the center.
I did not know that.
Yeah, which was the center of the. You didn't know that? That's the whole reason this whole thing happened.
I don't care.
That's the whole reason Pizzagate happened.
I didn't care about Pizzagate. Why would I pay attention to it in any way, shape, or form? It was obviously false. And then it had the moniker of blank gate on it, which means I don't give a shit already. There was one gate. It was Watergate. After that, figure out a different fucking name. Why is everything... Now I'm doing an old bit.
You're the hack.
Listen, why is it that they don't make planes out of pizza?
The whole reason the Pizzagate got momentum and got focused on Comet Ping Pong Pizza to begin with was because in the Podesta emails that got leaked, there were emails between John Podesta and James Alefantis, because James Alefantis would host Podesta Hillary Clinton-related fundraisers at Comet Ping Pong Pizza, because it was one of the hottest and best pizza places in Washington, D.C.
All right.
And so all of the attention got sent that way.
Is that why their relationship ended?
What? No, I don't know all the details about that. I feel like it's not even appropriate for me
I was
going to
say, because I don't want to add
I think it was before
Pizzagate to another reason that I hate them because it ruined a perfectly good relationship.
I don't think so. I think they had already broken up by that point.
Okay.
I don't know people's private lives. It's not really all that important to me.
Fair enough.
But I do think
But I should know about never.
I do think that one of the reasons that Pizzagate got pushed the way it did is because James Alefantis
What had a connection to David
Brock,
now I got it.
who right-wing interests have a very serious boner
Always
to kill.
hated. Yeah.
They want to crush him because, I mean, he hosts the most widely trafficked site that debunks their bullshit.
Right.
So all that is to say, I don't know what money David Brock gave James Alefantis. I don't particularly care.
No.
I imagine it wasn't blackmail, but that's why Owen's bringing that up.
Yeah.
Pizzagate.
I got you.
So again, they can claim that they never covered Pizzagate, but they talked about a lot of it.
Right.
Now, in this next clip, we get the first sensible thing that's said by any staff member of InfoWars on this broadcast. Rob Dew
says, guys, what are we doing?
Rob Dew is sitting on the sidelines, and it's not reasonable, but he has the most measured response, I think, of anybody.
Okay.
Just watching WikiLeaks put this thing together, I'm surprised they haven't just come out with led with the big guns. I don't know what this party is.
Well, they've already released some incredibly powerful stuff.
They have, but you would think that the stuff that they're talking about in the build-up that has been to this 10-year anniversary.
Well, they're just giving a history.
I hope they're not trolling anybody, is what I'm saying. I hope they're not trolling the world right now.
Fuck you, Rob Dew.
Well,
seeing your hopes dashed is beautiful to me.
But here's the problem. Rob Dew's right, but he's got the wrong culprit. It's Roger Stone.
Oh, of course.
It's not WikiLeaks. It's not Julian Assange that's doing this. It's Roger. It's so crazy. But at least he's starting to smell something weird. Weird.
Do you know what's so great about this, too? Is that Roger Stone smoothed this over, immediately. Alex almost certainly had this, hey, Roger, what did you do? You fucking ruined this for me. And Roger was like, nah, don't worry about it. I got this one covered. We're going to take care of it in a certain way.
Terrible Roger Stone.
I know. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I know. It's
I don't
not
know.
a distinctive voice necessarily.
It's certainly, it's nasal, but I can't pull it together. Yeah.
I nailed it once during our March 30th episode when I did an impression of him saying that Adam Schiff is a pussy.
All right.
But I have never been able to recapture
All
it
right.
since.
So for the podcast episode, whenever we
Schiff
release this
is
later.
A pussy. That's pretty close. It's not good, but
I don't know.
So as this wears on, there's more and more the history of WikiLeaks. There's more people just talking a big game about all they've accomplished.
Yes.
And at a certain point, Alex starts to grow restless.
I mean, whatever. Get the leaks out.
I guess now they're taking questions from the audience. Maybe we should from the journalists.
Yeah, where's Assange? Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Infowars.com.
The Americans are impatient.
Yeah, so we
it's
had
not 10 a.m. here, sweetheart.
for some.
Don't call her sweetheart. Don't call her sweetheart.
It's as benign as he can get in
Don't do that.
in these here parts.
I mean, I guess it's better than Cupcake, but still don't call her sweetheart.
He comes from a different era.
Yeah, no, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Maybe 10 years older than me.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really fucked up to me. He is not more than 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
He looks like shit. Anyway, in this next clip.
so perfunctory the way he said that.
Yeah. I don't want to gild the lily with specific talk. I can just bluntly throw that out. In this next clip, Alex is just like, get on with it. He's getting because at this point he still thinks the dunk,
right.
the dunk is coming, and he's growing exceedingly impatient.
I love how WikiLeaks, and this is just a criticism. I love WikiLeaks. I love Assange, but he's still mainstream media reporters. who literally think because they can write an article, they're God. I mean, there's a lot of arrogance here on average that we're seeing today.
That's true.
And with Snowden, they screwed him over. And so that's why everybody should just be their own journalist, their own report, so it's more pure. Because that's what this comes down to. You're seeing Infowars.com live coverage of the WikiLeaks hour-and-a-half press conference. We're 42 minutes into it. In the next 10, 15 minutes, Assange is going to show up. It's what we're all waiting for right now. We've kind of gotten the history of WikiLeaks. It's very interesting. The problem is that the people doing the presentation are so cool, they can't kind of bring themselves to give us any information.
Also, along the way, he's been, like, really pissed off at people's haircuts.
Yeah.
Like, he's just all of these people who are doing the WikiLeaks press conference are like, fucking hip asshole's haircut. He thinks he's so cool.
As a man whose hairline is receding, I can respect that at 3 a.m. He's like, fucking hate haircuts. I hate it. Your hair is so good.
This trendy motherfucker.
Totally get it.
All right.
I'm going to let him off the hook for that one because I've been there.
With
Fuck you.
locks.
Fuck you and your flowing locks.
I do not understand it at all.
And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just that this is why I get called.
It's not whatever it is you're about to say.
Sometimes like 30, 40 big profiles, New York Times, Washington Post, you name it in the last few months. I just said I'm not doing it because I don't have time to sit there on a weird power trip with some journalist for a day so they write some twisted article. Just write whatever you're going to write. So my deal is InfoWars, Drudge Report, we're the future, we're huge. WikiLeaks is great, but it's good to see how unpretentious Drudge is or how unpretentious InfoWars is.
You just said you're the future. How unpretentious InfoWars is?
That's not pretentious.
A little bit.
Because these folks are great.
That's poor.
It's just, my God, who puts together these productions? Get right to it. I would, give a 5-minute history of what we've done, 5-minute history of what we've been through, and then get to the data dump. Get to the meat and potatoes now. That's
Alex,
what we want.
When Andrew Breitbart came out and said he's got this amazing video. I think it was at some straw pack or something.
And he died a day later.
Yeah, and then he died. And then the stuff they released, it didn't quite live up to what you thought it would be.
That's right. Okay, she's now gone to a new video.
So he goes back to the WikiLeaks pre-conference because he realizes, I don't want to talk about fucking Breitbart.
Yeah.
Because we did an episode about Andrew Breitbart. We know all of that is nonsense. It was at CPAC that he gave a speech where he said that he was going to vet Obama.
Yep.
And it was not the next day that he died. It was a bit later. And he had nothing, and he died of a heart attack because he was a very unhealthy man who was probably deeply into cocaine.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't die sooner.
I
say the same thing about Scalia.
I've talked...
And I'm going to say the same thing about Gorsuch and who else? Who else you got?
I was watching, I don't know, Look, I saw
Anthony Kennedy. I'm just going to go through a list of the Supreme Court justices I wish were dead.
I saw a video of Andrew Breitbart the other day, and I got sentimental.
Really?
That's how bad it is.
That was a different time, right? That's when lies were just lies instead of the truth.
Hey, you know what? I know that I'm wrong about this. I know I am. Ahead of me saying it, I know I'm wrong.
Now I'm excited to hear what it is you have to say.
I think I could hang with Andrew Breitbart and not beat his ass or something like that. I wouldn't be so angry. Like if I hung out with Alex, I would leave. You know,
right.
When I say beat his ass, of course we'd never.
I was going to say you would never get into a fight.
That's not me. That's
unless you and he were sharing the same cocaine.
That's Alex rubbing off on me.
Yeah.
I would hang out with Alex and I'd try and talk to him for a little bit. I got to go. I think I could hang out, have a couple drinks with Andrew Breitbart, and think he's an asshole, but also slap him on the shoulder and be like, "You piece of shit."
Right.
Like we could be convivial enemies, like that kind of thing. I watched a video of him
convivial, by the way.
Whatever. I watched a video of him fucking with some protesters, and I'm like, "This is quaint." That's not good.
What? Whenever we're reminiscing fondly about whenever things were less evil, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's on some roller skates or something.
He was on roller skates.
He's on roller skates.
Now
and he's videotaping people. He's like, "I'm on roller skates. You guys gonna push me over?" You're like, that's fucking hilarious.
That is pretty funny.
Anyway.
I'm going to give him that one. Yeah.
Anyway.
I will give the ghost of Andrew Breitbart 1 point.
I've also been considering the possibility that since I did that deep dive and researched his death, and I know how people like Alex Jones have misused it for their own purposes, I might just feel a misplaced empathy for him. And that's entirely possible, too. But whatever the case, don't fucking play your games.
Did right-wing media kill Andrew Breitbart for their own purposes? This is the question we should be asking.
No, he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
He was a partier.
All right.
He was a partier with congenital heart defect. Anyway, in this next clip, Alex Jones confirms once again, this is history.
This is only the beginning, though, of exposing all this. This is history happening. Julian Assange is coming. There's 10 minutes. Press conference from Germany. Infowars.com, live coverage. Infowars.com/show. And what really happens is, once he gives us the dirt, we start investigating it. We put the reports out first. We counter the globalist controlled narrative. Let's go back to Sarah Harrison and the WikiLeaks release.
So,
NORAD is tracking Santa Claus. He is coming right over Africa. He will be in the United States very soon.
Yep, that's where he's at. That's the headspace. Alex
also, once again, Snowden had nothing to do with WikiLeaks.
No.
It was Glenn Greenwald and The Guardian.
No, but I also think that, just to give Alex a little bit of credit, within the context of what he was saying, it's not one-to-one necessarily that he was saying that he was involved with WikiLeaks.
Right.
It's possible that what he was saying is that the mainstream media screwed Snowden over. Maybe he's pointing the finger at Greenwald. I'm not entirely sure. But
he said WikiLeaks screwed Snowden.
No, I don't think he did.
He did?
No, I don't think he did.
Okay.
I think that if you look at the... what
he said they screwed Snowden. Okay, fair enough.
I think if you look at it...
Proper pronoun usage is beyond Alex's...
Yeah. Because more of the complaints that he made in that clip that you're referencing were about, like, the Washington Post.
That's true.
And the mainstream media.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. He might still think that Snowden was involved.
Yeah.
But we can't say for sure.
All right.
But at this point,
yes,
the time has run out. The clock has run out. It's time for Snowden. Now you've got Snowden in my head.
I got it.
It's time for Assange to make his appearance. And in this clip, they're waiting for the people doing the press conference to get him on the phone. And Alex Jones starts to have violent fantasies.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Come on.
Come on now.
Come on.
This
Load
one
the
goes
torpedoes
there.
that way.
That one goes there.
Aim the crosshairs this way. Pull the trigger that way. There, sink the enemy. That's how it's done. Pull the knife across the throat like that, across the carotid. Press in lovingly. Watch the blood spray. Politically.
Okay, just
stab him a few times right in the stomach for good measure.
That out for just a couple of seconds. Does anybody have a question from the?
It looks like they restarted the computer.
Trying to set that up.
As if they're not going to hack. I said try to keep Assange off. I mean, it might be technical difficulties too, but
so
they're getting a little punch drunk now.
Yeah, I think Alex might have had a few drinks.
Yeah. Now they're all. I still don't think he's had a few drinks.
No,
I think it's at that
He's
like
tired.
You get to that like 4 or 5 a.m. moment where you stop being like if you remember like a lock-in.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember when people used to do lock-ins?
Yeah.
And you would get to that like 4 or 5, and everybody be weirdly giddy because everybody's so tired. They're like. The real you would come out.
I don't know if that's the real you.
Oh, that's the real Alex.
Oof, I'm scared of
Cut
that
his throat. Push it in lovingly. I want to kill.
Politically.
I wish stab him in the gut.
For good measure, he says.
Yeah. That part wasn't political, though. No. That was just regular.
But to be fair, they had some technical difficulties and couldn't get Assange on the phone, so Alex had to vamp a little.
Ooh, we got our first loser. I'm not a grapefruit fan.
Oh, really? I enjoy this.
Not a big grapefruit fan.
This pamplemousse is not terrible.
Pamplemousse.
Fuck you. So
I have corrected language like 5 times tonight. This is annoying. I'm turning into my weird grammar.
A number of
Nazi
them have been appropriate because I have mispronounced a couple words or stammered over them.
Convivial was egregious.
Yeah, but pamplemousse isn't. Anyway, so Alex, at this point, they're trying to get Assange on the phone, and they're having technical difficulties. Alex.
So they think they're going to get Assange direct.
What do you mean?
I mean, InfoWars thinks that they're going to call Assange, and Assange is going to answer and talk to them.
No. No, the people doing the press conference that they've been watching are calling Assange.
That's right, because he can't leave the Ecuadorian embassy.
And so they're trying to get him on Skype, and they had a little, tech difficulty or whatever. And so Alex is like, I told you they were going to hack it.
Right.
They're not going to let Assange be on air.
Right.
So clearly he's gung-ho in this. The globalists are trying to stop him from talking, when in reality it was just Skype dropped or something like that. It's an international Skype call that happens from time to time. So Assange gets on.
Uh-huh.
And he starts talking about the history of WikiLeaks. And at this point, Alex Jones starts to realize
it's not going to go his way.
He starts to realize this might be zero.
All right, we're trying to figure out exactly what's being said here, ladies and gentlemen, just like everybody else. Julian Assange is here with millions watching around the world. I think he just talked about building a pub or something, so we're trying to figure this out right now.
This is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like this.
Alex is
I kind of like this.
Alex is so confused.
I like disappointed and confused Alex. This is my favorite Alex.
I think
I'm starting to love this.
I think he wants to own a bar.
I think he's opening a pub or something. I don't fucking know. I stayed up for this. Oh, God, what am I doing with my life?
He is nonplussed by this. So in this next clip, Alex is more disappointed, and then something happens with Owen Schroyer that I think is very interesting, considering he claims that he's from St. Louis.
Okay.
None of them think to bring the mic close to the speaker. It's like way back in the back of the room, they're all just acting liberal, like, liberal. Acting liberal. They can't even hear.
I'm honestly shocked at the two-bit nature of this so far.
St. Louis me. Why does he say shacked?
Because he's from the East Coast.
Oh, he was going with that accent? I'm shacked?
It's 3 a.m.
So it's coming through.
His accent slipped.
Oh, boy.
He's actually probably some sort of bougie East Coast asshole. Comes from money and just claims that he's from Missouri.
I don't know. Shacked? He could be a Southie. Could be a Southie.
Fine. Even so, then why would you cover that up? That would be perfect for the InfoWars milieu.
Oh, that's true. That would be perfect.
Whatever it is, it's something he's trying to pretend isn't really him. I'm shacked.
He's probably from New Hampshire.
Maybe. I don't know.
That's possible.
Whatever it is, it's some sort of... That's
the only state on the East Coast I know. All the rest of them are just... Never mind.
What about Rhode Island?
I've never heard of it.
It's tiny. But that to me is really fascinating because it happened another time too. I've heard that happen twice, and both times he's said shacked, or I can't remember what the other word was. But then immediately was like, I'm shocked.
I am shocked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Especially because if he did have an actual Missouri accent, shocked wouldn't even be a thing.
No. When have you been so tired that you accidentally pronounced something in a regional accent that wasn't your actual speaking voice?
Oh, that's crazy because I am from Zimbabwe, so I'm not. I can't let that.
We're getting
that was the wrong country.
No, we're getting an interesting point from the chat room. That is that Wisconsin also has that kind of accent.
Ah, there we go.
Which is true.
Or Minnesota.
True.
Minnesota sounds more reasonable now.
No, because I don't know. There's something very specific about the to it that seems East Coast.
Uh-huh.
And I might just be biased because I grew up in Boston for a little bit when I was younger. But that stinks of Massachusetts, in my experience.
I agree.
There's the vowel is slightly different. The phoneme.
Well, that's why I
Wisconsin,
went directly to Southie.
Minnesota.
Yeah. Boston.
Yeah. And Owen Schroyer is kind of
Baston.
He's kind of gingery, so
is he gingery?
Yeah, that also goes along with the sort of traditional Boston.
Right.
Anyway, in this next clip, Alex Jones realizes this fucking thing is a mess.
Well, I don't want to be negative or mean here, but we're just going to be honest. It's all we can do. This is a frickin' train wreck, and I'm glad my crew came in and worked really hard tonight. We are 10 minutes into incoherent babble.
No, not really.
Can I just hear
No, it's coherent babble.
So I can sit in the ring race where this is at. Because I'm sitting here and we've got him over the hot coals here, and again in the incoherent babbling, you're hearing anything?
I'm struggling to make out a lot of what he's saying. I've been trying to hear the words Clinton or Democrats or U.S. election. I haven't really heard any of those key words.
Well, in case he's doing it, let's go back to it. We're just not intellectual enough to understand this. Here, let's go back to it.
That's possible.
Might be a little bit of insight.
Yeah. That's probably the most honest thing he's ever said. We might be too stupid to understand this.
I mean, he's being glib, but yeah. But there's he's just talking about the history of WikiLeaks.
Right.
That's what the press conference is about. And the reason that because they are looking for X, Y, and Z in it, and you only get A. They're like, oh, I don't understand any of this. This is all Greek to me.
Right.
This is babble. This is nonsense. It's just their disappointment showing through.
To the actual reality of the press conference, can you really point to any earth-shattering things other than Chelsea Manning's revelations and the way that they fucked up the U.S. election for WikiLeaks?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, right?
No. There's some interesting stuff, possibly. There's some things that are interesting.
No, they put together a lot of releases that are embarrassing for the U.S. government, but a lot of those were just things that are uninteresting to the general populace. And if you really get into them, you'll be like, oh, well, this does mean something. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, nobody paid attention to anything other than those two situations.
Yeah, probably. Well,
so you don't really need to do a 10-year anniversary explanation. You need to be more like, Chelsea Manning is a literal hero that was imprisoned for...
I mean, there could have been more of that in the press conference, maybe.
That's possible.
But we can't rewrite history.
That's true.
All we can do is look at Alex Jones having a real bad time at 2, 3 in the morning.
It's delightful. I love it.
So in this next clip, Alex Jones fully realizes that this is nothing. And then he floats a theory.
I've seen the internet, and I understand that there's enormous expectation in the United States.
There's enormous expectation.
Part of that expectation is partly answered.
Built up by him.
Here we go.
I love it. If we're going to make a major publication in relation to the United States at a particular hour, we don't do it at 3 a.m.
We don't do it at 3 a.m. This is like it is a troll to get us to tune into WikiLeaks so these idiots can get on TV with their hair sticking up. He just admitted it. We don't do it at 3 a.m. Oh, my God.
WikiLeaks has grown
and to do with Hillary, I guess.
A relatively strong position.
This is my favorite.
So
this is my favorite, Alex.
He is now insisting that...
He is whining petulantly like a little bitch.
Exactly.
I love it. I love it.
He is now insisting that Assange has made a deal with Hillary. That's what he said there at the end of the clip. He's made a deal. He's made a deal. Which he reinforces in this next clip.
Nonetheless...
The material that WikiLeaks is going to publish before the end of the year is of a... significant.
Before the end of the year, he's made a deal. Before the election, jackass. 34 days. 34. Private Pile. 34. 34, Private Pile. What is that? It's a goddamn jelly donut. And why don't we have jelly donuts? Because you are a disgusting liberal fob.
Needs to change in order to survive.
Devastating.
Thanks, Roy.
Devastating.
Now,
you're great. Operation Asswipe, launched by Julian Assange.
So far, a devastating letdown.
I expect to.
So, they're getting bitter.
Oh, it's so good.
So the thing is, like, if Alex, at this point in October of 2016, was so confident about Trump and everything, like, why are you freaking out about how we only have 34 days for secret information to be released by this organization in order to win the election?
Right.
He's desperate for this information.
Right.
To the point where he's banging on the table, screaming 34 days. Kind of gives a different picture than his, I knew he was going to win all along.
Right.
But that's just me.
Nah.
I don't know.
This is so good. This is like If every single one of his narratives were broadcast live, he would constantly be like, "Oh, I'm wrong.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm wrong.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm wrong.
Oh no."
Like that's why you don't do things live, Alex. You're wrong
and again,
about everything.
And again, it's why Roger Stone has accidentally rat fucked him.
Yeah.
So in this next clip is
that's the reason that that is the reason other news outlets use teleprompters and don't go live to this shit and pre-tape their overnight shit because they can't verify it on the day.
Also, that's why news outlets don't be like, "Here we go."
Yeah.
You don't hear Jake Tapper being like, "Here's my prediction.
Let's fucking do this.
Here's my prediction. This interview will verify every little thing that I hope and pray for."
Right.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
So, at this point, things turn ugly.
Okay.
And Alex gets really mean.
Is it true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Increase our press partnerships. We have around 110 different organizations over the years. I think it's about 89.
If you could,
real laugh. That's a real laugh.
If you couldn't hear over Jordan's cackly laugh throughout after he said this man has no dick, it's a constant like he cracked his shit up.
He loved it.
He's like, I nailed it.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie, I agree with him. That was hilarious.
He did the big tell. He goes, by the end of the year, they're going to wait till the election's over and release whatever it is.
Who's got a bigger man piece, Michelle Obama or Julian Assange right now?
Julian, listen.
Fuck you,
We're not trying to be mean to Julian Assange.
Oh, the tranny. She's definitely got the bigger gun.
This has been an interesting
We're having some hysterical fun.
broadcast.
Here, let's go back to this guy. Let's go back to Julian Assange, who I liked until this moment. I'm having a real problem.
You're having some problems.
It was in the Wikileaks, but not this time. This time, I am greatly disappointed.
Oh my God. So this next clip.
Schreier fucking ruined it. I was having so much fun when he directs it at somebody like Julian Assange. I get to just relax and be like, I am enjoying this too. And then Schreier's like, let's be sexist.
Don't worry, it's not over.
Let's be a fucking monster.
Don't worry, Alex's bullshit is not nearly over.
Okay.
This goes on quite a while.
Okay, good.
But in this next clip, we get what I am going to label perhaps the weirdest. I'm going to spoil it ahead of time. This is an ad pivot, but it's the.
Oh, also, Schreier is being racist as well.
Yeah, he's being all of it.
He's going all in on being sexist, racist, disrespectful. What else you got?
He's the Neapolitan of bigotry at this point.
Yeah.
But this next clip, dude, this is the weirdest fucking ad pivot I've ever heard in my entire time.
Okay.
But, it is karma. We troll a lot. We've been trolled.
That is the WikiLeaks files.
Now he's going to hawk some products. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com. You can buy our non-GMO heirloom seeds, widest selection. And I guarantee you will actually grow some real vegetables, fruit trees, you name it. Probiotic, faint him down, please. Biome Defense, high-powered InfoWars probiotic.
That's so weird.
Okay.
That's
so he's like,
weird.
oh, now he's going to fucking sell some product. By the way, we have 30% off on...
No. What's fascinating to me about that is I think there's three pieces of that's crazy. First is, we troll people a lot, we got trolled.
I know, that's so weird.
Which is like admitting that you're not a journalism outlet, first of all. And second of all, you didn't get trolled by Assange, you got trolled by your rat fucker in-house, Roger Stone. Second is that Julian Assange is celebrating the 10th anniversary of WikiLeaks, and there's a book. He brings it up, and he's like, oh, now he's trying to hawk some products. And it's not I'm going to hawk some products, too. It's like a knee-jerk reaction.
Right.
It's
somebody hawked products. For some reason, I have to. There's a product hawking going on. If you if we wanted to, okay. So we go out to a bar.
Yeah.
With Alex.
Sure.
He starts saying some crazy shit. We're just like, hey, we have some knowledge fight buttons, and he will shut it down and just start selling us shit immediately.
But it'll be muscle memory.
Yeah.
He's not even aware that he's doing it at first, and then as the ball rolls, he's like, shut that down, turn it down a little bit. I got to do a real ad.
Lower it.
Listen to this one more time with that in mind.
But, it is karma. We troll a lot. We've been trolled.
That is the WikiLeaks files.
Now he's going to hawk some products. InfoWarsLife.com.
That's muscle memory.
You can
Just
buy our non-GMO heirloom seeds, widest selection. And I guarantee you will actually grow some real
There
vegetables.
wasn't even a comma.
Trees,
No. As it goes on, that's when he gets into the, I started it, let's fucking go through with it.
Right.
It's astounding.
Right.
It shows that what is always in his heart is
selling shit. Yeah.
And that's when you were saying that your real self comes out. This is where I would make that argument.
Okay, fair
as
enough.
opposed to the slit your throat. I mean,
Right.
that's in there. That's in there.
That's
But
in there.
That's the real
That's in the
self.
mix. Yeah.
More the I do sell seeds.
Right.
Let me talk about them. that's his.
Wait, also, I've never heard him sell seeds before.
Oh, he's got a lot of seeds.
He's got seeds?
Heirloom seeds.
And then he guarantees that you're going to grow some real plants? Isn't that how seeds work?
It's one of his old sponsors.
Uh-huh.
It's one of those old ones that stuck around a long time, like the Survival Foods.
Okay.
Survival seed banks.
Right.
And what have you.
How is Hide Your Guns working?
Someone did tell me that that website still exists, but
right.
I'm not going to go to it.
Okay.
So in this next clip, Owen turns on Julian Assange.
Okay.
He does seem, he does in this video, again, I'm hoping, all right, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed Julian Assange will come out with something still. He's still talking. But he kind of seems he's coming off like a bit of a cuck.
No. He said by the end of the year, hey, buddy, there's 2 months to the end of the year after the election. We have 34 days, Kyle, to save the world from Hillary that wants to kill you. What the hell's your problem?
Do you want to kick ass or do you want to start chewing concrete?
Schroyer.
You got two choices. Start giving us the data, Assange, or go to Easter Bunny Place.
I came here to chew bubblegum and listen to Assange leak documents, and I got neither.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
No.
Man, I have never been trolled like this.
Hoo boy. Their references didn't work out. The two-man act is falling apart.
It is not good.
No, it's
I thought I could rely on one, Owen Schroyer is the fucking worst at this.
He's not
He
good.
is really bad at this.
I wish his Boston accent would just let it free.
I mean, I came here to chew bubblegum and
listen to Assange.
One, too long.
Right.
And two, you can't end that with and I got neither, because that's not a joke. That's a disappointment.
I honestly think that's a C in terms of a line. But
you think so?
Well, but the reason that I came to chew bubblegum and kick ass and I'm all out of bubblegum works,
right,
is because both of those things are things that you have control over.
Right.
Like, I can chew bubblegum or I can kick ass.
Right. Also, Rowdy Roddy delivered the hell out of that.
Right, but you can't control what Julian Assange is going to do.
No.
So you're kind of like, I am either going to chew bubblegum or passively take in this thing that didn't happen, and I don't have gum. It doesn't.
You should buy some gum.
It doesn't really.
You could have bought some gum.
It doesn't really work, but he hit that cuck hard.
No, the cuck was good, and
Sure.
then Alex came in with just garbage. Alex is bad.
Right, he's not doing his part.
Alex is out.
He's not doing his part in this Smothers Brothers routine.
Right.
But fuck you for thinking that.
Okay.
Because Alex is about to come through with a haymaker in this next clip.
Okay.
Is this the death of WikiLeaks? I mean, are we
Drudge breaks stuff every day.
We thought we were about to
kiss this guy's ass.
We thought we were about to have a rebirth. We thought we were going to have like a new explosion of WikiLeaks, and now are we seeing the exact opposite?
This is Hillary's October surprise.
Come on,
Julian Assange. Trolling the world is Hillary's October surprise.
Come on, Assange.
Julian Assange is a Hillary butt plug.
Hillary butt plug.
Yeah.
Shit.
Were you thrilled to be?
Love it.
Were you excited to be lip syncing over that?
I was.
Yeah.
I was going with some Vic Mensa, by the way.
Right.
It was the rebirth of The Rock.
So, the Dwayne Johnson?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Hillary, her October surprise.
She's got a butt plug.
Well, she has a butt plug, and that is that she has co-opted Julian Assange. She has made a deal with him, and that's the surprise. We've been trolled.
I love how extreme. Like, it is nice to know that his insanity always has to go extreme, because now, of course, he loves WikiLeaks again so much as just it was in the WikiLeaks. We all knew it the whole time, but for one night, he just hated them so much.
He's tired, and they're the reason he's awake.
I know, it's so good.
It's fascinating because like the speculation and like where he's going with whatever his narratives are, it's so counter to like just being like if he were you and me, and we were doing a everyday radio show, let's say, and Julian Assange made this announcement, and we were doing let's stay up till 3 and watch this and stream it, or whatever.
Right.
And it turned out he was doing this is our 10th anniversary. He would be like,